If you're not doing email marketing at some kind of level, then you're really missing out on a great opportunity to market to clients and customers. It really gives you a good opportunity to stay in touch with them, and still, it's a great way to communicate with people while still not being too pushy. Text message is also that's becoming pretty big, but still, it's a really, really pushy kind of way to market, and has to be used very selectively, much more so than email marketing. While it has better open rates, you also very much risk the possibility that you'll create a negative relationship with your client. So be careful with text messaging. Social media is great, but it's still, you don't own the platform. You can lose contact with your clients and customers depending on what the social media network feels like doing. Take Facebook, for example. They decide to cut back on how much you can reach people that follow your page. There's nothing you can do. You just have to accept it and pay Facebook money to reach them with advertising. And that's kind of the name of the game. They want to make money. They're about appeasing their stockholders. So, they're constantly going to want to charge you money to reach your audience. Email marketing, not so. You pay for some, an email provider, and you have your email addresses in there, and you can email your clients and customers anytime you'd like. Of course, you still have to be careful not to look too spammy. Of course, you always want to send something helpful in the email. You don't want to be too spammy and send annoying information constantly every day. There's some people that will send an email every single day. Those are the kind of mass emails that you're going to get sick of real quick and unsubscribe. So, of course, you still have to exercise some kind of strategy and intelligence in, walking that fine line between looking like a spammer and actually providing some helpful information. So these tools are something I use that helps me. They're not going to help you write great emails. They're not going to help you, have that right strategy. That's for another video, definitely another topic. I have written topics about stuff like that, so make sure you check out the Online Presence blog for more of that. You can find a link in the description. But the tools that I use for email marketing are MailChimp. That's one of the best tools that I use. That's where, if you subscribe to Online Presence blog, all that kind of stuff, it's going to go into my MailChimp list. And that allows me to do things like over here, if you subscribe right here, put in your email address, the newsletter or the blog. If you select the blog, then you go into a special list that will send out every Friday the blog posts that I've made for the week. So you'll actually get a curated list of this week's posts and other recent posts in case you missed it. So that's an all fully automated system that picks up information from my blog. So it's unique content, it's great content, but it doesn't require me to go in there and put it together every week. It automatically does it. There's other things that I have set up, like email sequences. So if you subscribe to the Online Presence newsletter, there's a few emails that go out welcoming you to it. It's kind of a little short drip campaign, but it is a drip campaign. I don't have anything huge or extensive setup. Of course, you can do that depending on how well that fits into your ultimate plan. So far it hasn't fit into my plan yet, but it is something that I'm looking at. But anyway, you go into a little sequence where you get a welcome email, and then after a couple weeks it might ask you for some feedback, and that I'm trying to gauge on whether the newsletter is helpful to you, and where I can make improvements. If things aren't going as well as they could, then I know I need to make some improvements in it. So I collect that feedback. And then, of course, every week I send out a newsletter. Or every other week I send out a newsletter. So I actually write that to my audience, anybody who's a small business owner and whatnot. So that's cool. It makes things easier to stay in touch. That's a great tool. So here you can see this is MailChimp, and you can do a lot of different things. You can create landing pages, all this. It's not the most powerful tool for doing, landing page, stuff like that. It's fine for an ad. You can actually target to your email list, which is great. When you create an email, you can create a regular campaign. So that would be something that I would do if I'm sending out a newsletter, just one of my bi-weekly newsletters. You can set up automations, which is extremely powerful. This is stuff where you can you can welcome new subscribers. If you collect people's birthdays, you can say happy birthday, give them something special on their birthday. Share blog updates. That's similar to the blog one, where it picks up from my blog and puts that in an email. If you have an e-commerce store, there's a whole lot of great automations you can do. This is extremely powerful. And I'm going to get to some of the tools, and I'll come back here in a few minutes of how you can tie into all this. You need a special plugin if you're using WordPress and WooCommerce. So I'll come back to that later, but for now, I want to get to MailChimp for WordPress. This is a plugin for WordPress that I use, and this makes it really easy to connect all the forms on my site to MailChimp. So I have an API that I enter, that I get from MailChimp, and plug it into my site, and that allows me to, I can create these forms, and it will subscribe people that fill them out to my MailChimp list. The proper list and all that proper information, and all that's because of that plugin. And then there's things like on the comment form on this. If you select email me tips to grow my business online, it subscribes you to the newsletter. So that also makes those options available. There's several different things. There's several different things that are made available from the plugin. This, as you can see, is the plugin. So you have an API, you connect it to a list, and then you have the ability to format your form. This is, you can use a widget inside WordPress. It actually adds a widget that you can put anywhere on the site. So this is where you format what that widget looks like. You can add buttons. You can even configure all the form fields, all the settings, how people are subscribed. Do they do double opt-in? Does it update subscribers or, replace different things? And then you can do appearance. You can use the different themes that they have. Of course, I like to do things a little bit more custom, so I personalize it myself. And then there's also integrations. This is where you can choose things like adding the email list to a comment form, or for me, I use Ninja Forms, so it adds it to Ninja Forms. And this is really cool because you can integrate the MailChimp form or subscription options into almost anything. If you have registration on your site, you can enable that. You can have people subscribe while they're registering, and there's all these other integrations that are included with this plugin. So this MailChimp for WordPress by Ibericode, very, very powerful plugin. Allows you to collect email, allows you to enable subscription for anything, almost anything on your site. That's extremely powerful. And then there's also the official MailChimp WooCommerce plugin. So if you have an e-commerce store and you're using WooCommerce for that, this plugin is an absolute must because it ties in your email list and your subscription to your actual MailChimp site. So I'm going to go check out this settings here. So here's the MailChimp plugin. This is on an e-commerce store that I run for a client, and of course API key, just as normal as the other option. And then you have store settings, mailing address, all the information, And then you can set the currency, time zone, all that information. And then you have list settings. So which list do you want to sync with your store? And then on checkout, it'll actually add an option to subscribe. So you can have subscribe to our newsletter, or you could put whatever information you want in there. And you probably want to leave it visibility, either checked or unchecked, but you don't want to hide it. That kind of defeats the purpose unless you use another plugin to do that. And then you can choose where the opt-in form is. So that's the settings, but the power comes in under sync. So it'll actually sync up with WooCommerce the products in your store, all the orders of your store. So then WooCommerce MailChimp can actually use that information. It can use that information to, thank first-time customers. So if they bought something, after they buy something, after, 12 days, send them a thank you email, maybe send them a coupon, something like that. You can reward your best customers, so those people that are spending a lot of money with you, send them a huge thanks and give them something special because they bought a lot from you, so they're really good people to thank. And this is all made possible by the syncing of the plugin. And then also, you can retarget site visitors. So you can remind people that they saw your site, they looked at products, and it'll send an email. You can actually personalize that with the products that they looked at. So they'll get an email with, hey, you looked at these products. Go here and buy them. Okay, so then there's the people that maybe have added products to their cart and registered and everything, but didn't actually check out. If you have their email address, and they have an abandoned cart, you want to set this automation up. So anytime somebody abandons their cart, if they didn't check out but have items in the cart, then in 24 hours or whatever, they'll receive an email. And that email will say, hey, you have these items in the cart. Would you like to check out now? That'll remind people that, oh, hey, I do have that. Maybe I do want to check out. Or you can do things like, hey, you added items to your cart. Here's a coupon that you can save money on, and that will kind of give them that final nudge to make that purchase. Like, oh, hey, I can save 10%. I'm going to do that right now. Thanks for the coupon. And then, order notifications. Those are just the typical, hey, you ordered this. Follow up on purchase. Anything that they bought. So you can say something like, thanks for the purchase. Here's some other products that you might be interested in. Check these out. What about a customer who's purchased something but hasn't been back for a long time? Those are customers that, they bought something from you. They're interested in your product. Hey, maybe try to get them back to buy more or something else. So those are all really helpful ways to get your customers back, and that's all possible from this plugin, the WooCommerce plugin. And another one that I just wanted to point out, you can ask for product reviews. So let's say they purchased a product and a month later, you want to give them a chance to use it or whatever. It could be a week, could be a month, whatever you deem is the right timing. Ask them to review the product. So did they like it? Then leave a review, please. That would be awesome. So that is all possible from the WooCommerce or from MailChimp automations and this plugin. So by pairing the two, you have a lot of power with an e-commerce store. The next thing is HubSpot email sequences. This is an awesome tool that I use every single day. There are a lot of things that I do day after day. I send the same emails, and instead of sending an email and setting a reminder to follow up or send the next email in a sequence, I can actually set up sequences. So here's Dora the Explorer. I had, we talked about something on the phone, but I need to follow up with her. So instead of sending each one of those out, I can put them into an email sequence. I can, create an email, a task, email, task. I can do whatever order I want, And so I just open up the sequence. It's going to personalize it with Dora's name. Already has the subject pre-written. The date I want to send the first email. If I want to send that immediately, then just leave it as is. And then, of course, I have to still personalize each email. This does not take any of the personalization out of your emails. So that's the beautiful part about this. It's still 100% personalized. It's just you set it all up, the whole sequence up in advance, and then it just runs by itself. So it's going to send this email. It's going to put a task in my HubSpot task list. So then, call, leave a voicemail or whatever. So 2 days after I send the email, I'm going to follow up with a call. And then 2 days later, if I still haven't heard anything back, then it's going to, if you get a call back or you reach somebody, you need to stop the sequence manually. But if one of the emails, if they respond to an email, then it's going to stop the sequence. That'll just stop the whole thing right there because you got a response. That's the whole goal of the sequences, is to get a response. So once you get that, sequence stops, and now you can take over again on figuring things out. But as long as the emails aren't answered, then it's going to keep on running through the sequence. Of course, you have to personalize all these emails. You can even change the dates and the times that emails are sent. I personalize the times sent to when, the time zone, early morning of the time zone the person's in. And then once I have personalized all these emails, I just hit start sequence, and boom. People will start out, it'll say in a sequence over here. And that's really cool. It'll just keep going. I don't have to do anything until somebody responds. So that saves me a ton of time. I've already pre-set up those templates. I can personalize them still, so I don't lose out on any of that personalization, and it just takes it away for me. So excellent way of doing email marketing. So that's part of that. One does cost some money. You do have to subscribe to HubSpot Sales, which is you can get sequences for $50 a month. You get a ton of other cool stuff. It's probably one of the best $50 a month I spend. It's a whole customer relationship management software, so I manage all client contact, all of this. You can see I can log notes, calls, emails, everything, all in here, and keep all company information. Dora, she works at Nickelodeon. So I can keep all that information in there, but of course I'm not affiliated with HubSpot. I don't get reimbursed for that. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I use HubSpot and I love it. And sequences is one of those features that really makes it worth it. That $50 a month is really well spent among all the other features that I use. But this is about email marketing, not HubSpot. So, go out there if you are using WordPress, and you don't have an email list provider, get that. MailChimp's a great option. It's a good place to start if you only have, under 2,000 subscribers. It's free. So that's also a benefit for you. So use that. I'm going to put the link down in the description. You can also check out this ebook too. It's about using MailChimp to grow your email list without even having a website. All the information in it is a way to do that completely free. And that's of course using MailChimp. So because that's, they have a free option. So try that. And then if you're using WordPress, definitely use this plugin for tying your MailChimp email list into WordPress. It's free. It's awesome. They do have a premium version though, so if you want more features, check that out. If you have an e-commerce store, in addition to the last plugin, you also definitely want the official MailChimp WooCommerce plugin. And then to really personalize and make your sales emails a lot easier, HubSpot's email sequence automations are awesome. So check all those plugins out, the tools, everything. It's some great stuff to make your email marketing a lot easier and your communications a lot better. you can really make a consistent brand with those tools. So go check them out and enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks. Bye-bye. Now that you've checked out an Exprance video to help you expand your small business online presence, be sure to subscribe so you can watch more videos as they come out. Or you can check out the ebook that will help you grow your email list without even having a website in case you don't have one. Or you could check out another video.